The city of Surprise is the latest Arizona community to suspend its recycling program.
Cronkite News reporter Jordan Evans explains why the costs are getting so expensive.
Recycling is a part of our everyday lives, but did you know that some of the materials you're actually putting in this bin are costing your city money? And that's why cities across the valley are cutting back, if not suspending their programs, because the problem is getting expensive.
So he'll get that material and he'll push it back and up.
When you recycle items such as plastic water bottles and aluminum cans, they end up here at recycling plants across the valley. But not everything you put in your recycling bin makes it into these bales. Instead, they're ending up here.
The problem is more with people putting too much waste in their direction. Pretty much of all plastics ever created, only about 9% has truly been recycled. And most of it ends up in the landfills. It's meant to last a long time, it's durable, it's inexpensive, so that's why it's created on such a massive scale, and it's just been increasing since the 1950s.
So when non-recyclable materials are fed into this facility, it comes at a cost because all of your items are sorted manually.
Contamination is absolutely a problem. So we as residents are contributing to this grand challenge in recycling right now. Contamination is enough of a problem that it's not only causing us to pay, but causing us to pay a lot.
As of August, Surprise decided to suspend its program because of this reason. But before that, the cost of recycling was already getting expensive when China imposed bans on plastic waste in 2018. A recent study published in Science Advances says nearly half of all of the imported plastic waste globally since 1988 will be displaced by 2030. That's equivalent to about 111 million metric tons.
They're expecting to get this, this delivery of plastic, and they get a bunch of trash mixed in, it becomes a problem. And why would they want to keep buying it if then it takes extra manpower and extra hours to be able to separate all that stuff out and then move on with the recycling process?
What was one problem has now evolved into two. Because China was receiving contaminated plastic waste, this has now created a much larger surplus here domestically.
It's hard to argue with the economics for some cities and towns that are small, that don't have resources. It's a big bite out of the budget now. We used to make about $600,000 off of our recycling, and now we lose about $500,000. It's $1 million swing.
Lauren Kuby with the city of Tempe says the city is struggling to keep its recycling program alive. So far, 4 cities in Arizona have suspended their programs completely, and several others are making huge cuts.
One of the advantages of pushing pause, like what we did, is this grabbed residents' attention. And so on social media and in person, residents are saying, what can we do to get recycling back? What can we do to make it work?
So for now, residents of Surprise can drop off their recycling at the Northwest Regional Landfill on Saturday mornings, and that's where it will be processed in a material recovery facility. Gent says until cost-effective solutions are identified, check with your city's website for information on what you can and cannot go in your curbside bin.
If I could explain 3 things, it's don't throw any plastic bags or any wrappables, we call them. If you are using a recycling container, make sure that you put your recyclables in loose, and try to use the internet to educate yourself on the items that are best being recycled right now.
In Surprise, Arizona, Jordan Evans, Cronkite News.
While communities look at the future of how to make recycling work, some cities like Tucson have cut back programs. That city has moved pickup recycling every other week instead of weekly.